Hey everyone, I'm Mohammed. In this tutorial, you will learn how to enable auditing in your Kubernetes cluster as it's not enabled by default. So in some cases, you may need to know who did what and when to your Kubernetes resources, and that's why you may need to enable auditing. I have all of the needed steps in a blog article, so let's get started. All right, so I will add this URL to the comment of this video. Okay, so let's see what we have here. So first of all, let's learn a bit about the audit event stages. So it starts with a response request, and then the response gets started and then gets completed. In some cases, if something goes wrong, it will get to the panic stage. Okay, and you should set the audit level according to your needs. So you shouldn't be recording anything unless it's required in your environment. Otherwise, you will have tons of megabytes or gigabytes of log files. So the higher the logging level, the bigger the log files. Okay, so these are the logging levels in Kubernetes auditing. So none, which is going to log nothing. Metadata, okay, this is going to have only data about the request, like the username, the timestamp. Okay, the request itself, it will contain the request body, like the content of the or the structure of a YAML file for a pod, for instance, but in a JSON format, and also the request response that will return from the Kube API server. And by the way, the Kube API server will be handling and generating these logs. So all of the following configurations will be performed at the Kube API server, and these steps are very simple, so nothing is complicated at all. Okay, and we have two types of auditing backends where you can store your log files. So we have a log backend and a webhook backend. The log backend will be recording the audit logs locally on the file system of the machine, which is the master node in this case. And the other type is the webhook the webhook backend, which is going to send the logs to a remote HTTP API server like FluentD or Elasticsearch, maybe. In this tutorial, we will be focusing on log backend, which is going to generate logs in a JSON format. So you may need to have a Json Formatter, since it's not going to be easy for you to read the logs in a JSON format. Okay. And how are we going to specify the auditing settings? So to define the auditing settings, we will need to create a policy configuration YAML file with a specific structure similar to this, and this file will be accessed by the API, the Kube API server, to start logging the events according to the options we specify. And this is a sample policy file created by Kubernetes. I captured it from Kubernetes documentation. You will just need to you don't need to define all of these. You will just define the ones you need for your requirements. Okay, so let's go ahead to start the enabling steps for the auditing. Okay, so first of all, you need to SSH into your master node, which is this one. okay, because we will need to configure and edit the manifest file of the Kube API server. So, okay, we did this. The second thing, we need to create a path, okay, where the policy file will be created and hosted. So in my scenario here, I will be using this path, kube/audit. So let's create it. dir-p kube audit. Okay, great. What's next? Okay, then this is a sample for my policy file that I will be using in this demo, and I will show you how I created it. Okay, I will create one. I will call it policy.yaml. Okay, and we will paste all of the code in here, and let's have a look. Let's compare the files I have here and that one. Okay, so this is the sample file from Kubernetes documentation, the one you just saw in my blog article, and this is the configuration file I just created here. So basically, I just copied some of the parts. For instance, in this demo, I will be focusing on the events that is related to pods, like creating a pod, getting a pod, deleting a pod, okay? So I've just copied parts from here to there and then made some modifications. So if we focus a bit here, okay, I have the same header, okay, fixed. So I don't want, okay, let's omit stages. I don't want to receive any events regarding this stage, okay, the stage of the event life cycle. Okay, I defined a couple of rules here. So this is the level of auditing. You remember the levels of auditing? Okay, so I'm setting it to the request level. I'm focusing on pods resources. And I'm also focusing on the request response level on the pods resources as well. Okay, here's the file. Let's save it. Okay, let's kube audits. Okay. My bad. I've created the file in my current path. Okay, let's move it. Kube audit. Okay, and for now I will be making a small change to the file, and I'll let you know later why. Okay, I will make a mistake here. Okay, like this one. I made this intentionally just to show you something. Okay, so you shouldn't be doing this anyway. All right. Okay, what next? Okay, we have created the policy file. Okay. Okay, another thing, you need to create a path, local path on your file system to store the logs that will be generated by the Kube API server. And in my case, I will be using the same path, Kube audit. And inside the audit directory, the Kube API server will be creating a directory named logs. I will show you later how is it going to create it. Okay, so if you'd like to use another path other than the one that is having the policy YAML file, then it's up to you. Well, great. Okay, next step, we will configure the Kube API manifest file. We'll need to add some arguments to the API YAML file to instruct the API Kube API server pod to start auditing and also exporting the logs to the path we specify. Okay, so the arguments that we can specify, we have, let me focus a bit here. Okay, those two are mandatory, so you must define both. Okay, the audit policy file which is going to point to the policy YAML file path to make the API server read it. Okay, and the other one is the audit log path, where the API server is the Kube API server is going to export and save the auditing logs. The other three are optional, by setting the maximum age of the logs, setting the maximum kept log files, and also the maximum size of per logs file. Okay, and I have those here already defined in that one, in a text file here. Yes, that one. Let me just minimize those to focus here. Okay, so I will be configuring my API server as defined here. I don't know, just okay. Okay, so the path I will be using is, okay, let's make it as the one in the blog. I am pointing it to kube audit policy.yaml. Okay, and the logs will be also generated to kube audit. Okay, I will be setting the maximum age for the logs to 15 days. Okay, and the backup, the log files, it should keep at max 5 files, and the file will not exceed 20 megabytes. I will copy these. Okay, and let's head to the Kube API manifest file and edit it. Okay, so API etc Kubernetes manifests. Okay, actually, let's cd there. Okay, here we have the Kube API server YAML file. Okay, let's edit it. Great. So here in this section, under the container section, under the command section, okay, and under the Kube API server command, I will be pasting the arguments or the flags here. Okay, let's just make the indentation. Okay. Okay, this. Let's get this up. Okay, so now I have defined the path to the policy YAML file, and by the way, this is a local path on the Kube API server pod itself. So this is not the path on my file system, on the machine that is running as the master node. Okay, so to make the API server read this file and also generate the logs to that path, which is also here, this is also a local path. I suppose that you are already familiar with the concepts of Kubernetes, but it won't be bad if we make a quick review here. Okay, so I'll need to mount a path, a volume path to the policy file, and also for the logs. So I will be, in this case, I will be having only a single volume that will be serving both the pointing to the policy YAML file and also for the path where the logs will be generated. I just need to make a small change here. I wanted to store the logs at logs here. Okay, as in my log here. Okay, so these are the files. Sorry, these are the arguments. Okay, I should also specify the name of the file, the log file. Okay, so I will call it kube log or kube audit.log, or name it anything according to your preferences. Great, so now I have path to the log file, the policy file, and the log file. So let's mount the volume for my local path. Let's head down there. Okay, and as you can see, I have here a mount named Audit, and the mount path is with this path, this path. Okay, and there is here is the volume named Audit, and with the host path type pointing to this path on my local machine, the master node here in this case. Great. So what's next? We should save the file now. Okay, so we should be saving the file. Okay, we have made all of these changes. Added the volume mounts. Okay, great. Okay, now we need to restart the Kube API server. So in this case, let's just quit and save. Okay, and it should come within a minute. Oh, let's ctl get pods. Okay, it's still not working. Okay. In case if it didn't come back, if it's possible to reboot the master node, then reboot it. If this is not possible, then you will just need to move the manifest file of the API server. You will just need to move it outside of this manifest directory and then return it back after a few seconds, okay, to instruct the kubelet to start restarting the pod once again with a new configuration. Let's see if it came back online or not. Okay, not yet. It's still offline. Okay, so mine refuses to come back, so let's move the file. Kube API, move it outside. Okay, give it a couple of seconds. Kube API server back in here. Okay. Give it a few moments. Okay, if it never comes back, then you should check the logs, and I have actually done this intentionally to let you know how to check the logs of the pods in case the Kube API server is not working and you can't reach anything. You can't even run the command events or logs for a pod, or you can't do this. Okay, so let's check the pods, check the logs of the pods. Okay, so you need first to get the name of the container. So if you're running Docker, then use Docker PS to list the names. I'm not using Docker, I'm using Cryo, so I'm going to use CRICTL PS to get the name of the pod. Okay, but since it's not running actually, let's check the offline ones. Okay, so here it is. This is the name, and you should be able to look it up in the log directory using the container ID. This is the container ID. Even if you find this a bit difficult, or if this changes as it removes it and creates another one, it's fine. I will let you know how to find it using a specific format, which is very simple. So let's head to ls var, okay, log pods. Okay, then the name, here are the logs of all of the pods that are running currently on this node. Okay, and we can find it here. It should start with the namespace where it's in, which is Kube system in our case. Okay, so here it is, Kube API server. Okay, in case you have tons in here, maybe you can just grep it. Okay, let's get inside of it. So it's kube system, kube API server. Here it is. What do we have inside? You should find a directory with this name. If it's not there, then maybe the pod is not yet ready, or it hasn't generated any logs. Don't treat this one. You should use you should open this directory within this main directory. Okay, let's cat. Okay, so the directory name is kube API server, and pressing tab, this is the log that it has right now. Let's open it and see what's inside. Okay, so these are the logs of that pod, and if you can see here, error loading audit policy file, it failed. Why has it failed? Because at line 15 in the YAML file of the policy, it didn't find the correct bracket. So let's open, no, not this one. Let's open the policy file and correct this. Okay, this is the mistake that I made intentionally at the beginning. Okay, all right. So now we need to restart the pod again of the API server. So let's move this away, move it to another directory, and then let's move it back in. Okay. Sorry. Dot. Okay, great. Okay, now it's loading. Perfect. It has started successfully, and it should now be generating logs. Let's check the hierarchy of the directory we have created. Kube audit. Yes, as you can see now, it has. Okay, let me make it better view. Okay, now the kube API server has successfully created a partition. A directory named logs for us. Let's check what's inside. Okay, so it's still. Okay, so it has successfully created the kube audit log file. Let's check that file. Kube audit. Oh, sorry, cat kube audit. Okay, so this is the output of the generated logs by the kube API server. Okay, so let's create a pod with a specific name to check the generated logs, but allow me please to get back to the steps here. Okay, so we have restarted the kube API server with the correct configuration correctly, and now the logs file has been created successfully, and we have logs in it. Okay, so now let's create a pod to check. Okay, so kubectl run. I will call it audit-nginx. And I will be using the nginx image for this demo. Okay. Pod nginx. Sorry, audit-nginx. Here it is and running. Okay, great. Let's delete it. I'm just generating events. I don't need the pod itself in anything. Okay, delete. Pod nginx just to make it quick. Okay, great. So we no longer have the pod audit. It's not there. Great. Let's check the logs now. Okay, but this time I will just get the required audit from the file. So let's cat k, and I will grep audit dash nginx. Okay, wow, we have all these entries here. Let's run it again. So each block of these are is an event. Okay, let's copy it from the beginning of this here for kind. Okay, I need to have it in a readable format. Okay, so I will be using a JSON formatter. Okay, you can use the one of your choice. In this demo, I will be using this one here, and I will put the URL in the blog in case you'd like to try this one. Okay, and then I will click on format to have it in a readable format. Okay, great. So let's focus a bit here. Great, so we have event that has recorded a creation verb for the resource we are focusing on, which is the Audit Nginx one. You'll find it down there, the name. And because I'm generating levels of requests, and I'm not. If you generate a metadata level of audits, okay, then you will see less results in here. I just wanted to show you the captured events in a bit of detail. Okay, so if you go down there, okay, the user, my user Kubernetes admin, which is the default admin, the default user of the Kubernetes cluster, has created and initiated this request. Okay, so the auditing level here is request as we specified in the policy file. Okay, if you go down there, okay, here is the name. What else? We can see also here the image used. Great. Okay, so let's look for the delete. Okay, here it is, captured the delete event for this part. Well, that's great. So let's get back to the article. Okay, here are the steps. Okay, we have captured the text, and yeah, here is a screenshot from the website I used to format the JSON, and here is the URL already in the article. Okay, let's go downstairs. So that's it, and this is the reference here mentioned. I will be putting the URL of this article in below in the comments area, and I hope this has been informative, and I'd like to thank you very much for viewing this video. See you later. Goodbye.